5 questions for mindful productivity, 5 questions to ensure that your productivity doesn't turn toxic, 5 questions to ensure that you get started with productivity the right way. That's what we are going to be discussing in today's video. Let's get started. Hey folks, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Praveen Ramesh, and on this channel I summarize, review and speak about a lot of non-fiction books that I'm reading, and I also speak about lessons that I'm personally learning by reading these books. I find it immensely useful. I hope you do too. So as I said at the start, today it's a pretty interesting topic, and something that I have been thinking a lot lately about. Hey, how do I ensure that we don't fall into this trap of toxic productivity, and while getting a lot of things done and having a lot of fun? To get started, let me just paint a picture of what my definition of intentional productivity means. So intentional productivity means that you're having fun doing whatever you're doing. You have time to do things that you really love. The output that you're giving out is along the desired levels. And fourth and the final thing is you're feeling happy at the end of all of this, right? What I don't believe in productivity is you having a lot of things to do in a day, where at the end of the day you feel dissatisfied and burnt out. So that's not something that I actively propagate. So if you are here for how do I cram a lot of things into my day, I'm sorry friends, you're in the wrong video. So without much further ado, I'm going to speak about 5 mental models, or rather 5 questions that you can ask. So I call it the 5 W's framework. So let's get to the first W. What are your intentional defaults, right? So intentional defaults are what I define as guardrails to your daily life, right? So when I say daily, the guardrail, so hey, what defines how your day looks like? For example, I identified this by seeing, hey, what are the things that I really enjoy doing in a day? For example, I enjoy working out, I enjoy reading, and I really enjoy catching up with my colleagues and friends at office, and I enjoy spending some time alone with family in the evenings. So these are my intentional defaults. So what I have done is consciously prepared my day along these routines, right? So I would highly recommend for you to think, hey, what are your intentional defaults to start with? If you don't have one, I would highly recommend you sit down now, take a notepad and note down what are the things that spark joy and what are the things that you feel good about if you do it at the end of the day. So on bad days, I wouldn't beat myself up if let's say I had a bad day at work, or let's say I had a bad day personally, I was very stressed. If I had done these 5 things, I would pretty much feel very calm and collected throughout the day. So that's what I call as intentional defaults, around which your routines are built. So what are your intentional defaults? So that's the first question I would ask in order to have a mindful productivity. Second things, what can I eliminate? At times, this is a bad habit that I got into, where I said yes to too many things, right? And if you have followed my journey from the start of this year, I have a blog, I have a YouTube channel, I have my social engagements going. Apart from this, I have a full-time job that I'm part of. And apart from this, I'm interested in a lot of things that I end up saying yes to, only to realize that, oh my God, okay, I cannot do a lot of things that I set out to do. So consciously, every month or every week, depending on how I feel, I kind of list down things that I'm doing without my knowledge or without some amount of intentionality, and always ask about, do I really need to be there at this social event? Do I really want to go to this movie? Do I really want to be doing this YouTube video at this point of time? Do I really need to write a blog a day, or whatever, right? So these questions could vary for you from week to week or month on month, depending on how your personal and professional life looks. But I always keep asking this question about, hey, what can I eliminate or take off my plate that will reduce the stress that I have, and make me feel more happier. At times it could mean not shooting a video for a week or two. At times it could mean skipping workout. At times it could mean being too hard on myself with all the cooking that I try to help my family with and stuff like that. So always keep asking, what can you eliminate from your plate? Third question, what can I simplify? Again, this is one of my favorite one, where is there something that is there in my workflow that I can simplify? So I'll give you an example of what I was doing, where I go to work out 3 days a week, and I always kept thinking about, hey, should I go for some kind of a Zumba class, some kind of a weightlifting class? Should I be playing badminton and things like that? And this was taking up a lot of my mind space, because I would wake up in the morning thinking, okay, am I not doing anything, blah blah blah. So what I did was I simplified this decision making by telling myself that, hey, on days I don't have anything to do, I'm just going to keep my phone at home and just keep walking for 45 minutes or 1 hour. When I come back, I feel like, I've got the workout for the day done. Or when I started this YouTube journey, I always used to think what the leaders in my niche are doing. those were days, pretty young days, where I always used to try and replicate the topics that they do, try and read the books that they read, or try and do videos like what they are doing, only to realize that I was spending a lot more time comparing myself. So now I just talk about things that really inspire me, that are life changing for me. I review books that I really enjoy reading as opposed to replicating someone else's journey. So I've tried to simplify my decision making wherever I can. So I would highly recommend you to think, hey, what can you simplify to ensure that you stay more happier? Fourth one, what can I automate? Again, this is a very favorite one. So once you have kind of identified your intentional defaults, once you have identified what can you eliminate and what can you simplify, next step comes into what can you automate. So here is where I go very big on software, right? So for example, some of the things that I have automated are everything related to my YouTube journey, right? So I no longer try and sit and think about, hey, what kind of cover I need to be designing, what kind of script I need to be writing. So I've templatized all of this with a few softwares, right? I am someone who relies very big on technology to automate a lot of things that I do on a day-to-day basis. Either with workflows, for example, I use this app called Readwise to automatically sync all my Kindle notes into Notion. For example, I also have a blogging platform where I can write from my email and send it to the specified mail address and it will be published on my blog. So I try to see, hey, what are the things that I can constantly keep automating so that can reduce the amount of manual effort I put in. So that's the fourth question I ask myself. Fifth and the final question is, what do I delegate, right? And this is my favorite one, something that I've spoken in a lot of videos as well. At times we think that we are the superhero. I want to be doing this, I want to be doing that, I want to edit my videos as well, I want to run a marathon, I want to prepare my food as well, and you realize that, oh my god, I am overwhelmed. So this is where what can you delegate comes in, where if there is someone who can do the job doubly as good as what you are doing at half the price, because here at this point of time I'm putting a price on your hourly rate, why not delegate to them, because they are going to do a great job of this and they are going to ensure that your mind space is free, because they are experts in that and you aren't, right? And I do this for especially things that I really don't enjoy doing, and this keeps changing. For example, I have a phase in my life where I didn't really like cooking, so I subscribed to a food service that delivered food. At the all my YouTube videos are always edited by a friend of mine who's doubly better than what I edit videos on. So those are the 5 questions I would highly recommend you start with to ensure that you have intentional productivity, free up a lot of time to do things that you love, and ensure that you have a good mind space. Do let me know if you want me to elaborate on this more. I would love to cover them in other videos. Until I see you in the next video, this is Praveen Ramesh signing off.